Hello everybody, this is Super Fryman 93 and this is my official 30 teams in 30 day video, and this is my team, the Indiana Pacers, which I really want to represent. Now first off, I'm going to be talking about the owner, or scratch that, I'm going to be talking about a little bit about the team. The Indiana Pacers were a powerhouse team in the 1990s with the help of Reggie Miller, Rick Schmitz, the Davis boys, and Mark Jackson. This team was pretty much the second team in the East, or you can consider them the second or third team, depending on the years. Of course, they clashed with the New York Knicks in the playoffs in classic series, as well as a classic 1998 Eastern Conference Finals series, which really was, I think, was the best Eastern Conference Finals I've ever seen. Now, they're sort of fallen off the ladder since then. Now they're in some rebuilding phase. First off is the owner. The team is currently owned by Melvin Simon. He hasn't made a whole lot of news in any recent past that I've heard of, but overall, he's done a pretty good job. I mean, the team is they're still in contender for the 8th spot. His brother Herb is the chairman and CEO. Does very good at his job. David Morway. Now, David Morway came in after Donnie Walsh left for New York, and he's trying to help with the, rebuilding session. And the president of basketball operations is probably one of my favorite players of all time, Larry Bird. Now, Larry Bird, he was arguably one of the best coaches Indiana's ever had. I mean, next to Larry Brown, he was just incredible. And it brings us down to our head coach, Jim O'Brien. During the O'Brien years, the team has been in a decline. I'm not saying it's his fault, but overall, I just don't really see it. His system is different than a lot of other systems out there. That's all I'm saying. Now, it's time for salaries. We'll go in an order as the way it's listed. Danny Granger is making $10,973,222 this upcoming season. The next person, Mike Dunleavy, will be making $10,561,984. TJ Ford will be making $8,500,000. Jeff Foster is projected to make $6,655. Jeff Foster has been injured a lot lately, so right now he's been a part of the team for a very long time, but he's going. I think he's just going to be a third string. He's going to be on the bench until he gets healthy, and then he'll probably get the starting job again at power forward. Up next is their new acquisition, James Posey. He will be making $478,600 in salary. Jamel Tinsley will be making $5,500,000. Dahante Jones will be making $2,500,000 even. Paul George, their early draft pick, will be making $2,238,360. Brandon Rush, who had just recently got suspended for failing 3 drug tests, will get $2,069,040. Tyler Hansbrough, last year's early pick, will be getting $1,998,600. Roy Hibbert will get $1,685,280. Solomon Jones will get $1,500,000 even. Darren Collison, the great acquisition they got out of New Orleans, along with James Posey, Darren Collison will make $1,361,040 this season, and that's subject to change later on. Josh McRoberts will be making $885,120. He'll be a starting power forward. AJ Price will be getting $782,195, and Lance Stevenson, their later draft pick, will be making $700,000 even, for a grand total of salary. The Pacers will be spending on their players $64,368,421. Now, last year, the Pacers missed the playoffs because they, lost 50 games that season. The record was 32-50. Now, that's a bad record. That was the worst record the Pacers had in years. But they showed some light on the end of the tunnel, winning 10 of their last 14 games, beating teams like the Jazz and the Thunder, who were getting really, really hot at the end of the season. So they didn't make the playoffs. They were number 10 in the East. They were eked out by Toronto, who was barely eked out by Chicago, which should be a better team this season. I mean, even without LeBron James and the Cavs in Cleveland, that division's still going to be tough to win because Milwaukee's good and Chicago is good. Now, our franchise player is Danny Granger, and here's the projected starting lineup. At point guard is Darren Collison. At shooting guard is Mike Dunleavy. At small forward is Danny Granger. At power forward is Josh McRoberts. And center is Roy Hibbert. Now, I don't have a problem with this lineup. Darren Collison's going to produce a lot of points. TJ Ford, he was a good point guard with Earl Watson, who has not yet been re-signed. So Collison and TJ Ford will likely mesh well together, and Collison will get some nice minutes on the bench with some good point guard play by TJ Ford. Mike Dunleavy, a great shooting guard. Well, not great. He's not the franchise player, but he wouldn't be making that much money if he wasn't good, and he is good. His backup is Brandon Rush, who had been recently suspended, so I think Paul George will be taking that backup position. Danny Granger's backup is James Posey. Now, James Posey was a great backup for Paul Pierce in Boston, which helped them win a championship. He was a great addition to the Miami Heat when they won their championship, so that's good. Josh McRoberts, he didn't play a whole lot of games last season, but since they got rid of Troy Murphy to New Jersey, and I think he'll shine in this position. I don't think he was given a lot of playing time. I think he deserved the playing time, more of it at least. Tyler Hansbrough, he won't be injured anymore. I think he'll get over that ear infection, and I think he will be a good backup to Josh McRoberts. You don't win a national championship in college and, don't make at least some sort of a decent career in the NBA. The center is Roy Hibbert. Backup is Jeff Foster. Now, that's the backups to the second string. The draft picks, Paul George and Lance Stevenson, that is to be determined. Now, the Indiana Pacers are currently in a rebuilding phase, as I said. And my hopes for next season is that the Indiana Pacers make the 8th spot in the playoffs. Because Danny Granger's a great player overall. He's very good. No one shoot. I haven't seen anyone shoot the three in a Pacers uniform since Reggie Miller in his prime. And Danny Granger has got plenty of good years left in him. He's got plenty of years left on his contract. He'll likely re-sign, I think, especially if this team gets into the playoffs, which I think they could. I think they pretty much could. And Tyler Hansbrough, we're going to see more of him. He's probably going to be productive, you know. He went to the national champion twice with North Carolina, but we all know that doesn't really translate. It doesn't automatically translate into the NBA, but we've seen it happen. Josh McRoberts, I'm interested to see what he can do. Josh McRoberts, from what I've seen, has been very good, but he hasn't played in a whole lot of games, as I said. Roy Hibbert, if Roy Hibbert didn't get into so much foul trouble all the time, he would be great. If Jeff Foster gets off, injury, he could be a good backup for him too. Mike Dunleavy, he doesn't get into a whole lot of trouble. Brandon Rush, we're not going to see him for a while. I mean, failing 3 drug tests, I'm pretty sure, David Stern would no. The NBA commissioner, David Stern. I was right. I was thinking Howard Stern, but it's David Stern. I mean, he won't let him play for a while. If not, he would fine him a whole bunch of money. And Darren Collison, the big acquisition we got out of New Orleans, he's going to be great. He's going to be the good young team that may be able to eke their way into the playoffs. If not, we're probably the number 9 seed, and then we can get a draft pick that may help our team get a little bit better. Now, in the end, I'm going to have to say I was proud of the way the Pacers finished last season. If every Pacer is healthy, we are a great contending team. I mean, a lot of the games we lost were close games, but on the defensive end, we're not holding them under 100 points. Usually, they score a whole bunch of points. We're able to score almost as much, but almost doesn't translate into a W. So that's one thing I want to see them improve on this season. And all in all, I mean, the Pacers are just an exciting team. They've been exciting since the 1990s. Reggie Miller making every series exciting, bringing it to the last second, making the game, make you want to watch the game all the way through. And I think Danny Granger is doing that now. Anyway, this is a Super Fryman 93, and this is my official entry into the NBA Jerry's 30 teams at 30-day contest. See you all later, and I hope to see you again in the near future.